So let's go to our discussion for today. Our conversation on the program today is going to focus on the Nigeria Industrial Revolution Plan, with particular emphasis on the backward integration policy and other developments as regards the industry. I'm being joined on the program by Adiola Elliott, as the Vice Chairman of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry Agric Group, and Yakub Oponobi. He's a chartered accountant and also a consultant. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good morning.
Then also joining me from our Abuja studio is Dr. Abdulateef Busari. He's the Chief Executive Officer, National Sugar Development Council. Good morning, Dr. Busari, and also thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
So let's start our conversation here in Lagos. Mr. Elliott, how would you assess the federal government's Industrial Revolution Plan, with particular emphasis on the backward integration policy?
For us in SCCI, we're quite impressed that at last the government is looking at coming up with what we regard as industrial roadmap. And we believe strongly that this is the direction the government should go. But our worries have been basically on implementation. If you look at the Nigerian situation, we have institutions on ground, but the problem of working together as a team is an issue. And so what we want to look at, yes, this has been put in place. I mean, we appreciate that, but we've seen quite a lot of principles, ideas, but implementation. But that doesn't say we're not giving kudos to the present government. That's Jonathan. He's doing pretty well. We appreciate. I'm not talking as a politician, I'm talking as a business guy. We appreciate the much he has done. At least for the first time, we have somebody who is literate managing the affairs of Nigerian government. And so we've seen the impact. So we believe that the idea is good and is accomplishable with provision, or what I call caveat on implementation.
Mr. Oponobi, of course, he says what really matters is the implementation level of this policy. But now, looking at all the aspects of the sector that will actually be part of this, that are supposed to go in line with this backward integration policy, are all the sectors getting it right? We know that the cement sector, cement and subsector has actually somehow or the other run with this policy and is getting it right, and we're seeing the same thing replicated in the sugar subsector as well. But are all the sectors going in line with what this policy has actually set out to achieve?
Well, thank you. I think the problem I have is, yes, a good policy, you will say. For the first time, we are seeing a holistic policy, strategically designed and aligned with other policies. The one thing you want to ask yourself is, the other industries you are looking at, let's take the steel industry, for example. One of the challenges identified in that policy was saying, oh, we have a problem of global competition, we have a problem of smuggling into the system. I don't know how far we will go with that, because one, taking Ajaokuta, for example, if you look at the power needs of Ajaokuta steel to run, it means that for that steel industry to be able to get into the policy we are looking for now, it might still take some time more. But gradually they may be coming up, because one, by the time the IPPs begin to run, they might begin to get saying. But for now, I do not see. I think we are going to be playing more on the commodity side than the other major sectors that we're looking at.
Okay, so now in terms of trying to ensure that this policy works for all sectors concerned, because it is an industrial plan, and it's supposed to ensure that the industry becomes more competitive and gives us a comparative advantage even on a global level, what can be done in terms of putting the iron and steel, sector in that perspective?
Yeah, I think going back to the policy again, one of the things that the key support that the policy was able to drive were infrastructural designs, and one of the key things was power, because for as long as power is a problem, the industry will still be a crisis. Yes, the cement industry you are talking about, if you look at it take Ashaka Cement, for example, before he became part of Lahaj. Ashaka had a problem of profitability because of power. Not just because of that. One, so we need to get it right, infrastructurally, which is government say luckily we are trying to get it now by the power plant. or we're looking at it from the road constructions coming up. We expect that for as long as the power program is gotten right, every other industry sector will fall into this policy. Beautifully as it's designed, like I said, it's holistic, strategically designed, aligned with every other thing. But those key infrastructure design, which were supports that the policy was supposed to drive, must be driven faster than the policy itself, so that every other person will just key in and you get the best of it.
Let's talk about another sector that, okay, Mr. Elliot,
Yes,
you
I
wanted
was
to add
going
something?
to talk about the guys who are going to implement this. Yes, it's talked about industry. We have a problem when you talk about coming with a revolution. Revolution is a change of approach. Nigerian Industrial Revolution plan.
Yeah.
Go back to history. Revolution is not just a function of putting papers together. It's like let me take the Great Britain's Industrial Revolution. Nobody had any roadmap. It was just happening spontaneously. Now, what we are looking at first is the managers of this initiative in Nigeria. Do they have the reflexes to manage it? We are proposing, for me, I think it's high time that the guys managing the economy should be younger people. I don't see people at my age, 60. I don't have the reflexes of knowledge space, computer competence. I don't see the present 60 years and above as managers or what do you call it, ministers to drive this initiative. It's not about just paste and cut. Anybody can do that. But the issue is the people want to run it. How can anybody above my age? We don't have that capacity. What he is talking about efficiency now. But you need people at the right age to manage this. We're talking of change of methodology, change of styles.
And so if we're talking about change in methodology, we also need a change in guard. So
exactly, because look at economy, business pays worldwide. Did you say 68 years old, 70 years old, managing serious business like industrial revolution? So what we want to say is, like, if I had my way, I tell Jonathan he's 50 plus. He should just dismiss all 60 years and above in his system and get people who are, okay, one of the things we're enjoying in this country is channels here. You are young guys. Your reflexes are sharp. We need sharp people to drive this industrial revolution.
But then the young people also need to be handheld, so to speak. They need to have a mature people who will actually give them direction.
Yeah, make them chairmen. Make them chairmen of agencies, not CEO. They don't have that capacity. I don't have that. I run outfit, but I'm the chairman of my company. I only give guidance. All of us 60 upwards should just quit and be in advisory capacity. Let these young people like you take charge. Then we'll be able to run. We are talking of industrial revolution. In fact, one of the things SCCI is doing now, I came out from the oil sector. I worked for oil sector for almost 30 years. And one of the reasons why we are surviving in oil sector is because we're making use of sharp and fresh brains. Okay, so I insist that if we are driving this industrial revolution to take care of all the sectors, get old men out of this business, make us chairmen of whatever agencies, because these institutions they are there already. So if you put young people, the problem we have in this country, it is primitive wealth acquisition. We want to make money. People go there not to drive this revolution.